Hello there, my name's Catherine and this is my channel So Much Sewing, and this is Fluffy. She's not long had her dinner and she's saying thank you to me. She is such a fuss monkey. She's always wanting fusses and pats. But I digress already. I'm so sorry. This channel actually is all about sewing. It's about me sewing for myself predominantly. It's about the fabrics that I have in my stash. It's about the patterns that I have in my stash. It's about me putting those things together and coming up hopefully with new and interesting things to show you. One of which is what I'm wearing today. This is actually the Style Arc Yvette dress. I'll pop a picture of that up here for you. It is one that I have modified. I've put the sleeves from the Closet Core Knits dress on this, and I have made my own just gathered skirt, just a big rectangle, and put that on the bodice. And this is one of my favourite dresses. It's made in a really beautiful viscose, a very kind of, it's quite a heavyweight viscose from a company called Huff here in New Zealand. And they are a source of sustainable fabrics here in New Zealand, and they have some amazing quality fabrics from some amazing brands. They've just loaded some Atelier Jupe, they have Lady McElory, all sorts. So if you are in New Zealand or in Australia or somewhere close by, check them out. But this video today is about, mainly it's about my overlap jacket by Dhurata Davies, which I've made from fabric from the Dahlia Sewciety. I also have another fabric that I got from the Dahlia Sewciety, which I will show you my plans for. So the Dahlia Sewciety has a bespoke box, much like Beyond the Pink Door or So Hayley Jane. She's based in Australia. And so it's just really nice for us to have a box like that on this side of the world. I have been lucky enough to get boxes from her for the last few months. They are actually hard to get. They sell out super fast. So I try really hard to make sure that I get a box each month. So yeah, the first make I want to show you is the overlap jacket by Dhurata Davies, and I received this pattern as a prize in a Sew Wrapped challenge, Instagram challenge that I entered last year. It was my first ever time entering into an Instagram challenge, and I was lucky enough to win a prize. 3 Dhurata Davies patterns, which I will put up here for you to have a look at. And I have chosen the overlap jacket to make the beautiful linen viscose mix that I got from the Dahlia Sewciety February bespoke box. The theme was L'Amour, all about love for February. So this is the fabric here. It's got a fantastic weight to it. It is quite medium weight, I would say, but with the viscose in it, it just gives it an amazing drape. I'll pop it on. It doesn't go with this dress that I'm wearing, of course, but just so you can see the shape to it, I will put the pictures up here. I haven't taken any twirly pictures yet, but I will do so after I have filmed this video, and I'll put them up here for you to have a look at. This is actually the second time I have filmed this video. I filmed it a few days ago, and I went to my camera to load, to my computer to load it and do some editing, and but I hadn't actually pressed the record button, so it wasn't there. But happily, I love talking about sewing, so I don't mind rehashing everything that I said before. As I said, I'll put some pictures up of me wearing it. I imagine I'll wear it a lot with black. I've actually got a red dress that matches the red in here quite nicely. So I imagine that's how I will wear it. Now, in the instructions, she does give you options for finishing the seams. She gives you instructions for doing Hong Kong seams. I did not do Hong Kong seams for most of the jacket. I'm not very good at changing my overlocker thread, and I pretty much use black or purple or navy for most things that I make, because that just kind of fits in with my colour story. But this time I did actually put about 4 different coloured threads in my overlocker because I didn't have enough of any one particular colour. So there's sort of peaches and oranges and pinks in there, but I think that works quite nicely, works quite well. I sent my husband out to buy some thread to match, and he did an amazing job. I sent him down to Spotlight to choose thread. I sent him with a swatch. Look at that colour match. Didn't he do a great job? I didn't actually finish the hem on the sleeve exactly as Dhurata instructed on her instructions. I can't remember exactly what I was supposed to do. I think there was some more bias binding involved, but I just turned it up and sewed it. But I actually attempted to make my own bias binding. I had some fabric, again from Huff, where I got this beautiful fabric from. It was just a remnant, and I wanted to use that to make bias binding for this jacket. And so I had never made bias binding before, and I found a tutorial from Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles. It was an amazing tutorial, very instructive, very clear, but I believe I lost concentration for a vital few seconds, and I missed something integral to the process of making continuous bias binding. So I sat down. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't have as much time for sewing as I would like. But I put aside time to make this bias binding. I cut out a square. I followed Karina's instructions very, very well up to a point. I cut out a square of fabric and I marked out my lines. I spent such a lot of time being precise. I then sewed, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but you sew it together in a certain way, and then you cut along the lines and you end up with a continuous, it's like peeling an apple. If you do it the right way, you end up with a continuous apple peel. But I didn't do it the right way. And so, like I say, I missed a vital step. I lost concentration for a few seconds, and that was the most important few seconds, because when I then went to cut my strips, they were just strips, you know, that long, and I would have had to join them all together, and I just didn't want to do that. I just was so mad with myself. I know where I've gone wrong because I watched the Seamwork recently, also not long after that, put up a video about bias binding, about how to cut continuous bias binding, or actually no, it was a throwdown between Hayley and Sari about whether continuous bias binding was best or to make it in strips was the better way to go about it. But anyway, so I watched that and I knew instantly where I had gone wrong, and I just couldn't believe it. I'll link both those videos down below for you. So yeah, I don't have enough time in my life for sewing as it is, and then when I put aside time to make this stupid bias binding and it didn't work out, I was ropeable. So guys, making my own bias binding is not for me. I ain't going to do it. It's not for me. Not until I have more time in my life. Maybe I'm not working full time, whatever. That's okay. Just as well, they sell bias binding in the shops. So I had, the only bias binding I had enough of was black. And I think that works fine. This is the sleeve here. This is the front. And inside is the bias binding, just inside the facing and along the hemline there. And while there's no black, sorry, I'm stepping over a dog here. He's stretched out in front of me, wagging his tail because he knows I'm talking about him. There's no black in this fabric, but there's some dark chocolatey colours. And I know that when I wear this, I will be wearing it mostly with black. So, yeah, that's fine. I do have a red that will go nicely with this red scarlet colour in here. So I just think that's an absolutely beautiful jacket. I'm really, really happy with it. Do you know, there's just some fabrics, when you put them on, they just feel comfy, like a snuggle blanket, like a blankie. And this has got such a beautiful weight to it and drape that when I put it on, like I say, it just feels like a beautiful snuggle blankie. I love it. It's going to be fantastic for the autumn period, and even parts of winter for, you know, for wearing inside. If I have a merino dress or top underneath it, it's just going to be another nice layer on top for when I'm working in the office. It you know, obviously not for the depths of the winter outside, but I think this is going to get a lot of wear, and I'm really, really happy with it. So the next fabric I would like to talk to you about is the Empress box from March, from the Dahlia Sewciety Bespoke box. I have already opened it, so I won't do an unboxing as such. But in Kristen's boxes, you get a variety of things every month. You get thread to match your fabric, and it's pretty much always Gutermann. I don't think I've seen any other thread in her box. You get things like a nice tea sachet or a coffee sachet, some kind of a drink. You get a sweet treat, which this time around was a lemon slice with yogurt icing on it, which was very, very delicious. You also get a label to put in your clothing. You also get a QR code that takes you through to a video that she films about what she has made with the fabric, and tells you a little bit more about the fabric and about the items that are in the box. You also get some kind of a beauty item. Generally it's either hand cream or it could be scented candles, wax melts, that sort of thing. This time around was an amazing lip balm. Very sustainable packaging, sustainable materials, ingredients in it, and it's absolutely a beautiful lip balm too. There you go, proving it. I've been resisting the temptation to put it in my handbag, because once it goes in there it's never coming out. What else? Oh, you also get a sewing notion. This time around it was some gorgeous wooden buttons, which are super, super nice. Really appreciate getting those, and a postcard with the theme to the box, and this time it was the Empress. I also purchased a couple of items. I purchased some buttons for, do you remember I made the Solvi jacket? Well, if you've watched me before, you might remember I made the Solvi jacket. If this is your first time here, you won't know that I made the Solvi jacket recently, but I made it in a beautiful cranberry coloured boiled wool. So these buttons will go on the Solvi jacket. I'll put a picture up here. The Solvi jacket is a Vanessa Hansen pattern that was featured in the Talco magazine recently. Oh, there's the label that I got in the box. Oh, before I get to the fabric that was in the Bespoke box, I purchased this from Kristen too. It's an amazing Stoff cotton jersey. Look at the beautiful colours on there. This sold out last time she had it in her store, and I wasn't quick enough to get to it. And this time around when I saw it there, I immediately snapped it up. I snapped up 1.75 metres. I've been trying really hard. My default is always 3 metres when I buy fabric, and that's a lot. You know, you don't always use 3 metres, and so I find I'm ending up with quite a lot of offcuts, 1/2 metre, 3/4 of a metre, and it just seems and it feels very wasteful. So I'm trying very hard not to purchase 3 metres, so I thought I'm going to purchase 1.75 metres. So that's what I did. Very stretchy, It does have a white backing to it, so if you stretch it too hard, that does come through. Sorry, I hope I'm not flapping this around the microphone too much. It looks see-through there, but when it's on the body, I'm sure it will not be see-through. I've got a plan for this, and this is the shirt dress, which I'll put a picture up here for you to have a look at. It's a style arc pattern. Actually, will I make the shirt dress? I'm not sure. If I do make the shirt dress, I won't have enough to do the whole dress in this, so I think I would do, you know, maybe do some sleeves in black, a plain black knit that I have, or the front in this, and the back, maybe there's a band around the bottom, maybe I'll do the band at the back in this and the rest of it black. I'm not sure exactly what I'll do, but I will come up with something, because yep, I had to snap this up this time around so I didn't miss out, and I noticed that within a couple of days it's gone again, it's all sold out, so sometimes you've got to be quick. But here is the other absolutely gorgeous fabric. This is a Lady McElory fabric. It's the first time Kristen has put a brand fabric in her Bespoke box, and I adore it. Look at those beautiful colours. Amazing. And it's another viscose, sorry dog, it's another viscose linen blend. I think it's, I want to say 70% linen. I can't remember, I'm very sorry, but if I can find that out, I'll put it down here for you. But it's a really great weight. It's even heavier than the fabric that I made the overland jacket out of. It's less ropey, so I suppose it's got less viscose in it. Maybe it's 30% viscose, 70 linen. Yeah, but it does have some drape. Again, the weight of it is lovely. I put it on here like this, and I just think that feels so nice. It's a great weight that will be good for autumn, and I'll wear it through the winter as well. Spring, probably not good for summer, it's a bit heavy for that, but yeah, fantastic. I've got 2.5 meters of it. You also get a discount every month on a pattern, 20% off or 25% off generally. This time round it was the Style Arc Armadale dress, which I already have. Not that I've made it up, but I already have that pattern, so I won't, you know, I obviously won't purchase that again. You also get a QR code that takes you to the video of Kristen, what she made up, which is the, in this case, the Armadale dress. Although she made it into a shirt, I think she ran out of fabric, so she only had enough for a shirt. But when she styled it on her QR code video, she styled it with this sort of colour here, and that is exactly how I would have done it as well. I love those pops of colours in there. And what I plan to do with this gorgeous fabric is to make the Bella dress by Style Arc. By Tessuti. See, just some very simple lines. The long sleeve for winter. I'll put images up here so you can see it in more detail as I'm talking. And what I want to do, I think I've got enough fabric to do this. I feel for myself, that's not a length that I would wear. It just would do nothing for my shape. I'm short, I'm round. It just would hit me in the exact wrong place. So if you've been here before, you would have seen another Style Arc Yvette dress that I made, the same pattern as this. I made it out of a grey linen. It was actually an old linen bed sheet that we weren't using anymore, so I thought I would twirl the dress in this linen bed sheet, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the way it felt on me. Again, it was quite sort of heavy, and I just feel so secure when I'm wearing a medium weight linen. It's a ridiculous thing to say, I know, but I just feel so kind of contained and snuggly, and you know, like I can feel the weight on me, and I love the way it feels when I'm swishing around, and I adore this dress. But the thing about this dress, I made some modifications to it. Well, the truth be told, I'll put a picture up of it so you know what I'm talking about, but there's a V kind of shape to the bodice, and when I made my toile, I messed that up completely. Where the V joined here, I didn't do a great job, and so it was all messy and puckery. So what I ended up doing was cutting that section out, cutting this bodice shorter, and cutting off the top of the skirt portion, and then I just, because the skirt goes like that, obviously I cut off a section of it so it was wider than the bodice now, so I just trimmed it down so that it fitted onto the bodice. I just, attached it direct to the bodice. But what that did then was made the skirt too short, because I took, this much off the bodice and, this much off the skirt. So it raised the skirt up. It was too short for me. It was not what I was looking for. So what I did then was I added a rectangular piece to the bottom. So the skirt goes like this, A-line type skirt, and I just added a rectangular piece to the bottom, which then made it into a sort of a cocoon shape, if you can imagine the skirt coming down and then a rectangular piece like that. Hopefully I've got a picture that I can show you. Maybe I will point you to my Instagram reel where I was wearing this dress and talking about it. I think that might be the clearest picture I have of the cocoon aspect of it. But in any case, that's what I'm going to do with this Bella dress. I'm going to put a rectangle on the bottom there, and so that will make the dress longer, and I'm really excited about it. I can't wait. So that's my plans for the lovely Lady McElory viscose linen fabric from the Dahlia Sewciety Bespoke box. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, just because I'm here, because it arrived, is I bought this amazing velvet off our Trade Me, which is like eBay here in New Zealand, and I think it's actually cotton. It feels very thick, amazing quality. Look at the beautiful colours. I think I've got 4 meters of this. It's narrow, it's only 90 centimeters wide, but I've got 4 meters of this, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. But what is playing in the back of my mind is the Leo pinafore. Who is that by? Is it the pattern maker who did the Hinterland dress? I can't remember exactly. I will find a picture of it and put it here. I have the pattern. I'm not a dungaree person, but the hack that they provide for the Leo dungarees is you can make it into a pinafore dress. And I've just been hankering after a pinafore dress. So whether I make that, the Leo, or whether I make the Helen's Closet York pinafore, I'm pretty keen to try that as well. I think this would be a good wearable toile for that. Look at me stroking it. I just love the way it feels. And again, those colours are fabulous. I love them so much. Anyway, so I guess that's all from me. I just wanted to talk you through. I normally do an unboxing for the Dahlia Sewciety Bespoke box. I normally do a video solely dedicated to that, but I messed up this week, as I explained earlier, and yeah, so I've sort of mashed a few things together. I hope that's okay, and I hope this wasn't too garbled. I sometimes a bit of a, well, not a struggle to film. I love talking about sewing, but sometimes you lose your train of thought, and I'm not sure if I've repeated myself, or perhaps I haven't even imparted some really important information that I had wanted to let you know. So yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that. I am actually going to link Alex Judge Sews below, because when I was thinking about making the overlap jacket, I was looking for reviews online, and I found Alex Judge had done a review of the overlap jacket, and I contacted her. Oh yeah, I watched the review and I messaged her to say, you know, thanks very much for putting that together, not really thinking that she would actually receive my message, because I'm sure she gets a gazillion, you know, comments on her channel, and it was a very old video anyway, so I didn't know if she checked her comments. Anyway, long story short, she said, yeah, I'd love to see you make, tag me in, and so she can see what I made. So that's what I'll do. I'll link her channel below, link her video about the overlap jacket below, and if you would like to go and check that out, please do so. And that's me. Thank you very much for being here today. I appreciate you spending your time with me, listening to me waffle, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.